So it's summer. No, you wouldn't believe it, would you? We're off to Italy. I say we, just me. I'm off to Italy. The girls are already there. They decided to fly. They went last week. And now I'm going to catch up. Just me this time and not the dog.
Ciao, baby. Ciao, baby.
What am I going to drive? That's the big question, of course. So I'm going to go in the Peugeot e-208. Obviously. Obviously not the Nissan Leaf. Life's too short to manage that. But it's not like this has brilliant range either. So I'm going to go tomorrow all the way down to Italy. Well, in fact, no, I'm not going to go all the way down to Italy tomorrow because that's too much for me to handle, especially with the charging stops, which I'll talk about in a minute. I'm going to split it up into 3 days. So I'm going to stay once in France, once in the top of Italy, and then I'll get down to near Rome, a place called Marina di Cerveteri. That's where Flavian's family have an apartment. Right. It's going to take a lot of charge stops. First thing I do on any long journey is I go to a better route planner. This is the plan it's generated for me. I'm not going to go through every little detail, but I'm going to put it on screen, of course. I'm staying at 2 hotels, both of which have charges, but everything might change. The efficiency might be a bit better than a better route planner thinks, so I might end up stopping for a bit longer somewhere or a bit less somewhere else. Better route planner, really good, just as a rough guide. What I would love to do is actually have it on CarPlay running there and telling me where I need to charge kind of live, you know, it's getting the battery percentage and telling me where to go and all that sort of stuff. But this is a car with the subscription service onto, and I can't use the OBD port like I would do, so I can't get the data from that. What I can do is use something called Tronity, and Tronity is an app which I kind of dabbled with the Ioniq 5, and I just found it didn't actually work that well with the Ioniq 5, but maybe it worked better than Peugeot. What I should say also is that the toll booths in France are my nemesis, but I've got a bip and go thing attached to the windscreen, so hopefully that will go beep when I get to the tolls, both in France and Italy, because it works in France and Italy. And if that doesn't work, I also have a telepass for Italy, which we got when we did the Model 3 journey. So I think I'm covered for that, and I shouldn't have to clamber over this centre console to try and get to the other window, because it's very unpleasant doing that. Here you can see the dash, and you'll see that we don't have a battery percentage, and this is something that I moaned about in my first impressions video. Now what I didn't know is there's this little bit here on the end of this stalk here, and if you press that, and then look what appears. There we go, got the battery percentage. And this is also where you got the trip meter stuff. And if I was driving, then I would get the miles per kilowatt hour as well, so I get the efficiency as well, so that's great. Unfortunately, if I give that a couple of seconds now, you see, there you go, that disappears. So wouldn't it be great if that was on screen all the time, like it should be really in a normal electric car? Well, apparently it's possible. And if you go to this button here, and you'll see we've got personal 1 and personal 2. I didn't know what personal 1 and personal 2 was really, but if I go to that, so you'll see we've got this personalizable area, and it's not obvious how you get to it, but it says touchscreen settings. So if I go to the screen here, and if I click up there, then you've got the settings center, and then if I go to configuration, and then I go to customization. What I really want, of course, is the battery percentage all the time. So I want the trip computer. If I go to that, then hopefully I'll get the trip computer all the time. Yeah, there we go. That's enough rambling on. Let's skip to tomorrow and actually start the journey. Okay, it's tomorrow. We've got 98% battery, so I didn't get to 100% overnight, but 98 is absolutely fine, of course. A better route planner says I'll get to Eurotunnel, or Le Shuttle, as it's now called. We'll get it with 91% battery, but that's based on 100%, so obviously it's going to be 89% battery. So let's go. What time is it now? It's 9:28. I can't remember what time the crossing is, but I'm really nice and early, so hopefully I'll be able to get a slightly earlier train. Oh, they're putting in new chargers. It's good. Loads of Tesla chargers here if you need them though, and they're open to all EVs. So if you've never been on Le Shuttle before, this is what you get. And you just got to hang that up there. They ask you what kind of car you've got. So if you're fully electric or you've got petrol and diesel, that's fine. But if you've got hydrogen or like any kind of flammable gas, then they don't let you on here. So that's good to know. Another black mark against hydrogen. So I don't know whether this is of any interest at all, but I'll tell you anyway. But my setup is a little bit different. Ordinarily, I've got my big Canon with a beautiful lens attached on the other side of the car, so pointing at me. But it's such a big thing, with a dangling microphone on it and everything like that. It takes up so much space, and this is quite a small car, that it ends up kind of overlapping the side mirror a little bit. So I've bought a GoPro, but it does mean that I've got that one there, which is going to hopefully record the screen, so what I'm doing on the screen, because that's quite important, I think. And yeah, that one there, which will record me in a bit of a wide angle. We're ready to go, so you just have to follow the signs that say France. And don't run over any dogs. So at this point we have to just queue, and it can sometimes take a while. I love that so much. Okay, let's go to a better route planner. I'm recording on the phone, so that's why it's so slow. Unless things have changed, it should say Baralle should be the first stop. Yep. So that's still saying I'll get there with 19%. It's a hell of a lot nicer doing that in a little car like this than it was in the Tesla or the Ioniq 5. They're quite wide. So we're on the train then, and we've got 92% battery. And that says 188 mile range. But obviously I don't really want miles. I'm in France, so I'm going to change that to kilometers now, if I can work out how to do it. So what we have to do is click on this little bit up here, and then go to configuration, and then go to date and time. Not date and time, is it? But I'm going to do that anyway. No, wait a minute. Time zone, there we go. Is that right? Time zone? It's not obvious, is it? Why can't I... Do I have to turn that off to do time zone? I don't know. Maybe it'll change automatically, that would be nice, wouldn't it? So not that, sorry. We've got to go to system configuration, and then unit. And then I'm going to change that to kilometers. And there we go, so we've got 304 kilometers. It also means that it's now changed to kilometers per kilowatt hour. So I've noticed that this car, after a while of not using it, it seems to stop using the traction battery. The traction battery, that's the main big battery, you know, and it uses a 12-volt battery instead, and it calls that energy saving mode. But you don't want to use the 12-volt battery, because then the 12-volt battery dies, and then you're really in a mess. Whereas like the big battery could go on for days and days and days. So it's a bit of a strange one, that. I'm a little bit sensitive to 12-volt issues, you see. And what the last thing you want to do when you're stuck in a tunnel like this, where you've got cars right in front and behind, you know, you don't want the 12-volt to die on you right now, you know. Because, I mean, God knows what happened. That's like my worst nightmare. So if you notice that energy saving mode coming on, and you get the little battery symbol, then just turn the car on again. So you foot on the brake and then press the start-stop button. And that way you're not using the 12-volt battery. We're here, and we'll be let out any minute. So I'm going to go to a better route planner, start, and hopefully it should be set to Baralle. Let's just double check. Baralle, yep. I'm really impressed with the better route planner. It's way better than it used to be. Of course, we're driving on the right-hand side of the road now. So on a better route planner, down the bottom left, it tells you it tells you how many chargers are available and all that, which is great. It tells you what you should get there with, but it also says what battery percentage you should have right now. Now at the moment it says 85% and I've got 77%, which is obviously quite a big difference. And it's got 3 red bars on it, which I think means it doesn't have a connection with Tronity, is my guess. And this is the same issue I had, I think, in the Ioniq 5. It's not Tronity's fault, okay? It's Peugeot's fault for not sending the data while you're driving enough.
Take the ramp side right towards the Baralle.
And it looks like one of them is broken, one of the high-speed ones is broken. I'm not going to bother with the 50 kilowatt one. I'm here with so much more battery than I needed that I can quite easily get to another one. It's suggesting this one at Saint Quentin, PowerDot. I should get there, in theory, with 9% battery, which is a little bit lower than I normally like to do, but I'm feeling lucky today. Let's go. There's a little congregation outside the IONITY because I think someone's unplugging and someone's been waiting patiently to plug in. That was a Baralle of loves, wasn't it? Baralle of loves. So on a better route planner, it's still got the three kind of outline bars, red outline bars. That means that it's not getting live data from Tronity. It's still nice getting the thing that says how many charges are available. So it says 2 out of however many that is. 2 out of 9 available. So that's still good, if it's true.
Proceed to the route.
The Kempower. I'm going to be using the Shell card, which I get with Onto, and I've got 18% battery. So let's do that. That looks good to me, even though I can't do French. And select that. Sorry about the flickering screen. I don't know how to get rid of that. There we go. So you might be wondering, why did I go to these chargers instead of the Tesla superchargers? And it's only because I'm tight and I get free charging with the Shell card. So I kind of prioritise the chargers that I can get with this, which is actually most of them, really. Most of them in Europe anyway. So a better route planner is saying I should charge up to 70%. So that should take like 22 minutes. So it's a little bit frustrating because it's just a supermarket here. It's just not as convenient as one on the motorway. And I mean, I didn't get here with the battery low enough probably to justify stopping here. Maybe there's another one on the motorway I could have stopped at, I'm not sure. So nice to see loads and loads of chargers, right? The next stop after this then will be a Carrefour in Reims? Yeah, so that'll be the next one. And then the hotel in, it's not Troyes, like I said before, I think it's Troyes. So the hotel is in Troyes. And the original plan said I would get there at 17:54, so I'll be amazed if I get there before 7. I think it's going to be 7. We'll see. Okay, well I'm going to try and keep the schedule, so it's almost 70%. Okay, 70%. So, how do we stop? Do we think we press that? Stop. Oh, I've got to scan the card again. Good, I think that means it's done. Okay, so we've got 200 kilometres of range. I should get to the hotel at 6:30, but we'll see. We'll see about that. So it's worth saying that yes, the Tesla supercharger in San Quentin that I could have used if I wasn't so tight and I just wanted to get free charging. If you were doing this trip, then that's probably a cheaper one. So it's worth looking before you go when you're planning your journey, because actually Tesla prices are really good for the supercharger quite often. This is Carrefour supermarket. Turn down Bowie. So I'm here with 29% battery. 29% battery, I could get it lower than that, but I think just charging stops are a little bit infrequent at the moment in this area of France. So apparently I've got to charge to 86%. And weirdly, Tronity is now working. I've got the 3 green bars. Interestingly, this does contactless payment, which is unusual in Europe. I don't normally see that. Not very elegant, is it, that hanging there? That's a hell of a stiff cable, isn't it? Considering this is 150 kilowatt. Surely there could be less than that. Okay, so this is an Alpatronic charger. And I always like them. Down there it says 75 kilowatts, but that's 150, but it could be, maybe it's shared. That's probably why. So, well, that's brilliant. That's really good speed. And you'll see you've got loads of chargers here, well, quite a few chargers anyway, and also a 22 kilowatt. And you can stay for an hour for free. It's really good. There's a moderate rain flood warning on the weather. Doesn't sound good, does it? So this was the one I was going to go to anyway in the first place. And the original plan said to charge to 94%, but I don't need 94% because in theory the hotel I'm going to has a charger. that is confusing that it says charging complete in an hour, because that's talking about 100%. Really, there should be an 80% option there as well, otherwise you're going to think that it's really slow to charge. I really miss my Ioniq 5, what a car. So I just popped into McDonald's to get a coffee, and it's Café Gourmand. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Gourmand. Gourmand. I'm so sorry to anyone French watching this, or anyone that can speak French. But anyway, you get an espresso and a couple of macarons. So it's quite exciting. And I'm at 74% battery at the moment, so I don't have to be here that long really. In fact, I could probably leave by now. But I'm going to have my coffee and then I'll go. Yeah, McDonald's coffee is actually pretty good. I get a lot of coffee from artisan places and they're awful. They're really fruity. I hate fruity coffee. Coffee shouldn't be fruity. Okay, so I'll stop the charge now. Stop. 272 kilometres. And 85% battery. So it did say to charge to 86, but I'm a rule breaker. Now I'm just going to use Apple Maps because there's really no point using a better route planner anymore. So I should get there 6:30.
Starting route to Ruelle-en-de-la-Croix.
80 miles away. And I've got 272 kilometres. I got more than enough. I didn't have to charge this much. I love driving through France. I think they're my favourite roads because they're always they're always relatively clear. The French drive really well, apart from always leaving on their indicator when they're in the left lane. They always leave on the indicator, it's a weird thing. But yeah, it's just so nice. Lots of regular stops if you need to pee. It's just a dream driving through France. And then when you get to Italy, everything goes a bit chaotic. I'm fond of this bit of road because I stopped just there when I was in the Ioniq 5 and I took one of my favourite photos ever of the car with the sunset and the wind turbines in the background. So, which I'm going to flash on screen, just the excuse just to flash on the screen again because I love it. I really miss that car. 30% battery, and there's the hotel with a man up there smoking. Okay, so I'm plugged into this DriveCo thing, and let's see if this works. It is on the Shell app. Oh, there we go, blue. Blue's good. These are 22 kilowatt chargers, so if I had them again, then it would charge in 3 hours, 3¼ hours or something like that. As it is, this only charges at 7 kilowatts, I think. Anyway, who cares? I'm at the hotel, I'm fine. Right, I'm going to go in and get something to eat, actually, because I'm hungry. Okay, here's the hotel room then. As it is, I'm just going to be working while I'm here, so unfortunately, so I'm not really going to get to enjoy very much. It would be nice to go into Troyes again and explore a bit. It's a bit depressing eating in the room, isn't it? But I've got lots of work to do. Salmon tartare, some sort of burger, and some sort of tarte de pomme or whatever it's called. And a glass of wine. I'm not sure what wine. I think when I said, give me a good glass of wine, I was thinking I'm in wine country, right? Surely I would get a really good glass of wine. Good morning. So let's do that to unlock, hopefully. It's a beautiful day. So that's good, because I don't like driving in the rain. Okay, right, the next stop is, I can't pronounce this, Langres Perrogney. I've been there before. It's, what is it going to be? Perrogney? Oh, I don't know. It's just embarrassing. I can't speak French or Italian. I can barely speak English much of the time, to be honest. So we've charged up to 100%, 332 kilometres. I don't know if that's actually correct. I don't think it is for motorway driving. I think that range probably resets. I think the estimation kind of resets, because that doesn't sound right to me. So we're heading to a hotel in Piemonte, in the north of Italy. Well, we're going to be charging probably about 4 times to get down there. So the first stop should be a 19-minute charge at this Langres Perrogney, whatever. at the moment it's got the green bars on there, so that suggests that it's actually connected to Tronity, and it says we'll get there with 35%, and 3 people are using them. One of the things I noticed yesterday is when I was looking at the plan, I just checked, because the efficiency was a bit off, I think, on a better route planner. And it looked like I had 5% battery degradation set on there, which is the default setting, I think. And also 1,300 kilograms of extra weight. I think that's what it was. I don't know why that's on there, because that's a lot. So I certainly don't have that amount. So I've changed that. So a better route planner and Tronity are working perfectly in sync now. It's such a difference to yesterday. And also I was looking at Tronity yesterday, and actually I really love Tronity. I didn't really get it before when I had the IONITY 5, just because I tried doing exactly this in a better route planner. It didn't work and I just gave up. But it automatically stores all of your trips. It tells you how efficient it is. If you charge somewhere, you can assign a charging rate to it, so you can, find out how much you're spending charging at home or out and about. And it shows you the map of where you've been. I mean, really, it's fantastic. So I'm full-on Tronity guy now. So if you are interested in getting Tronity, then use my referral code, which I'm going to get hold of and flash on screen, because it seems really good, especially if you're a real data geek. If you're a data geek, you'll absolutely love it. And getting it connected with a better route planner is not too much hassle, really, so you don't have to be a massive geek to do that, but I suppose it helps. And of course, with a better route planner, to have it in CarPlay doing all this, I think you've got to have the premium one. So I'll put a referral code for that as well on screen. So great, every click is gratefully appreciated. And if you want the GoPro I'm using, no, it's fine. Amazon link just there. So it says we're going to get to the charger with 41% battery. I would have expected by now that a better route planner might have just come up with a message to say, do you want to go to another charger or something, but it doesn't seem to do that. Maybe it is still the best charger, but the car is saying I've got 118 kilometers of range, and that's 30 kilometers to get there. So I would have thought there should be another feasible charger in like 100 kilometers away, right? Let's see. So if I click the screen and then go to I, it comes up with the screen that says next step, and it says the IONITY charger, what time I get there, and charge up to 79%, whatever. There's a button there that says Alt Chargers, and if I click that, let's see, it's got loading alternatives appears on the screen. It looks like there's a Fastned. Yep, it looks like there's a Fastned I can go to. So if I go to start, it says there is a 50-minute faster route. I'm not sure why it's saying that. Okay, start. Okay, well, yep. So now it looks like I've got another hour of driving and 111 kilometers to get there, and the car is saying I've got 114 kilometers of range. So I mean, surely that's a bit tight. And it's saying that I need to go to a maximum of 110 kilometers an hour to get there. So this is probably why it suggested the IONITY one, because that is a little bit tight, I think. It's saying I'll get there with 9%. But yes, if I adjust the speed to 110, so I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do the IONITY like it originally said. Start. I mean, it's good there are options. There would be more options, right? It's just I've got this Shell card thing selected in a better route planner, so I'm prioritising the Shell card. So if you were doing this journey, you would find that it would be much easier. And I am just making things a bit harder for myself, really, just in order to get a free charge.
Side right towards the Langres Perrogney. Make a U-turn.
Yeah, shut up. Don't need to make a U-turn. So we're here with 42% battery, and we have to charge up to 82%, which should take apparently 19 minutes. according to a better route planner. All right, charging. So we're not going to get a very good charge speed because the battery is quite high state of charge, really. So straight in at 43 kilowatts, and I'm going to go in and get a coffee. Oh, 85 kilowatts. So last time I was here, there weren't so many chargers, so that's great. So you've got those ones down there now. In fact, that's a kind of a long bay, isn't it? Which is good if you've got a caravan or towing something. And here's the kind of the token charger with the CHAdeMO and AC if you need it. Cool, well I've got my espresso. Obviously I'm charging sooner than I wanted, but it is quite nice just to stretch the legs a bit. I'm not someone that likes being in the car, driving for hours and hours on end. I know anyone watching this video with the diesel is going to be saying, well, you know, I can get down to Italy on one tank, or what, you know, maybe just refueling once or something for 5 minutes, but who wants to be stuck in a car for so long? I don't. And it's quite neat if you look at the Better Route Planner app while you're not near the car, if you've got Tronity, of course. It does actually update while it's charging. It updates the state of charge, so it tells you that you've only got a few minutes left or whatever, so that's great. I'm quite excited, I forgot I've got a macaron. What did it say to charge to? 82% I think, wasn't it? So I think we can disconnect now. 82% battery, 246 kilometres of range. This car is much better than I was expecting. I was kind of, I wouldn't say dreading it, but I was kind of, oh, you know, God, really? I'm going to go to Italy in the 208. Not that I have anything against the car particularly, but I was just worried that there's not any back support like there is on the Ioniq, and I think even the Megane had a bit of lumbar support from what I remember. Pretty sure it did. And this doesn't have it. So yeah, my back is kind of feeling it a little bit. Because I do suffer from a bad back anyway. So I do have an emergency pillow just in case. But overall, actually, it's been alright. It's quite nice to drive, and it's nippy, and yeah, I like it. And you know, the fact that it's got CarPlay is obviously very useful. And I don't know what these are going for second hand, but what I would like this video to show is that it's not too arduous doing a long journey in it. Okay, so we're at Air du Jura. Great, okay, so here with 23%. We have to charge at 92%. I think that's the closest I've ever parked to a charger. What's quite nice is there are actually tiny little canopies, so you won't get completely soaked. 83, straight into 83 kilowatts. 93, wow. Okay, it's not going to sustain that for very long, but it doesn't matter. Right, let's go get a burger. Last time I got a burger here, I was in the Ioniq 5, and it charged to 100%. I don't remember what percentage I got here with, but it charged to 100% while I was still in the queue at Burger King, and I was panicking because I was taking up a charging space, obviously. Thankfully it wasn't too busy at that point. But yeah, I can't be doing with that kind of guilt. Loads of superchargers here if you need them. I think these are only open to Teslas. I don't think they're open to everyone yet. Look at it though, such a nice site, isn't it? So it took 13 minutes to get my burger, and the car's at 50%. Just going to show you Jura because it's so nice here. It looks like it's just rained actually, so I won't sit there. I'll sit here, far away from everyone, getting a slightly wet bottom. So like any stereotypical bearded EV driver, I do try to cut down my meat intake. So I've got a veggie Whopper. I don't think you would necessarily know it's not beef, because it's still got gherkins and mayonnaise and ketchup and all the rest of it in, and that's kind of all the stuff that has most of the flavour, I think. So it's pretty good, I think. I just, you know, I do like cheese, but the problem is that you get the vegan cheese, I think, and I don't like vegan cheese very much, so I'd rather have the vegan burger but with normal cheese in it, if I could have anything. Possible I could ask for it, but since I can't even say hello in French, then I'm not going to attempt that. I can say hello, obviously. Merci. French motorway service areas are just so good. Look. Beautiful, isn't it? I haven't looked to see what the car is charged. If it was the Ioniq 5, it would be at 100%. 10 minutes ago, I think, but it's not. So I'm going to walk back, get a coffee, and then I think I'll probably be ready to go on my way. And then I've got one more charge stop before I get to the hotel. And this next charge stop, I think, is just before Mont Blanc, I think. And yeah, it's always exciting going under Mont Blanc. I really love automatic coffee machines, so you don't have to talk to anyone. Okay, let's see what we got. 96%, oh god, we've got to go. I was taking it a bit too leisurely there, wasn't I? So it says charging complete in 20 minutes. So that means it's 20 minutes to get 4% to 100%. It just shows you how slow it goes at this point. Well, it's not updated yet, so it thinks we've got 92%, and we haven't, we've got 97. So off we go. And I think I've got to make sure I get the exit that's not Dijon. I need to go towards Geneva and that area. I mean, hopefully the sat-nav will tell me which way to go, but last time it kind of jerked and froze, and I took the wrong exit. I think it was in my IONITY 5 video, unless I edited that out just out of shame, which is possible. Not out of shame, because I was trying to make the video shorter, but the shame was an added element. This is gripping, this isn't it? Gripping, this video. Watching me navigate French roundabouts. Lyon, that's it. Gotta go towards Lyon, not Dijon. Not Dijon. Last time I went that way, like a fool. But now I have to go this way. Lyon, Bourg-en-Bresse, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm just gonna stop qualifying everything I say in French with that, if that's how you pronounce it. Just assume that I get it wrong. Oh, what? No, I do have to go Dijon. Surely not.
Exit the roundabout, then go straight at the roundabout. First exit.
Surely I don't have to go to Dijon. Oh, bloody hell, it's a better route planner being rubbish, isn't it? I should just trust my instinct instead of trusting that. It wants me to go back to IONITY because it thinks I've not charged up to 97%. Alright, so 89 kilometres towards Milan and Annecy. I'm going to be going to another IONITY charger, and it'll be the last one today. Should get there with 20%. It's probably going to be a bit more than that. And yeah, then on to Italy. I'm going to miss the French roads. I love the French roads. I love the French motorway services. Everything gets a bit chaotic once you get to Italy. Not least the drivers. So I'm just following a Tesla Model Y from England, and you might be wondering while you're watching this whether it's easier to do all this in a Tesla, and it is, because it does all the route planning for you. So you don't have to do any kind of a better route planner stuff, you don't have to do anything at Tronity and all that. It does it all for you. However, hopefully I would have edited the Tesla video by now, because we did it in the Model 3. And you do end up going to some pretty miserable superchargers. So it's great that you get these superchargers that have loads of stalls available. Very rarely you get a queue in a Tesla supercharger. So you're pretty much guaranteed 99% of the time, I suppose, to get to somewhere without having to queue, which is great. Loads of availability, they charge fast, all the rest of it. But the superchargers are often in places with like no toilets, no facilities at all. They might be in like ugly back car parks of hotels or something, and then you have to walk to a hotel and then kind of guiltily go in there and use the toilet there if you want to and stuff, you know. So it's just, I find that other chargers tend to be better positioned than superchargers are. Could be that that's the way they've built up the network and they've managed to get more sites because it's cheaper for them, more convenient for them. I don't know what the deal is, but so that's all I would say, is that the Tesla, you can't beat a Tesla in terms of like the charging. And if anyone's watching this going, my god, I'd never have an EV because of all this hassle, firstly I would say that we're not far off the stage where you can just stop at every motorway services and then you would get a charge without having to plan it. So we're not far off that anyway. You could arguably do that already, in fact, but you might have to queue sometimes. So Tesla is the next kind of best thing, really. So if you're, and it's kind of a great EV for someone that's not entirely convinced by the whole planning thing. So for that reason, I really recommend them. But as a car, personally, I prefer the IONITY 5. I prefer driving it, I prefer the way it looks, and I like buttons. I don't like the one big touch screen, and I certainly don't like the one big touch screen with the speedo on there. I like it in front of me, or have a head-up display. Anyway, but overall, Teslas, you can't beat them for charging. Absolutely beautiful scenery, but I've got a terrible fear of heights, and these bridges just freak me out. I've got to just keep looking ahead. I mean, I don't like the tunnels because they're all dark and hypnotic, but then you get to these bridges and oh my god, they're so high up. Battery level low, first time I've
Keep
had
slight right towards Air de Bonneville.
So it's at 30 kilometers range. That must be when that kicks in. I've got 13% battery.
The destination is on the right.
Okay.
The destination is on the right.
Destination's on the right. Shut up. I had to turn left. More. Absolute rubbish. If it said the destination was on the right, had I actually followed that, oh god, I'd be back on the road. That's what would have happened. So, moral of the story is actually use your eyes instead of the sat-nav. And we are here. Good. Right. A little bit closer than normal, I suppose, but there we go. So yeah, 13% battery I've arrived here with, and we have to charge to 81. Beautiful, eh? I know IONITY get quite a lot of flack, but generally they're very good, and they do make driving through Europe much easier. So most of the time I do find that they're quite reliable. They have their moments, and the problem is that they're very highly, well, normally they're used a lot. If I was coming on a weekend, probably good that I didn't really, because if I was coming on a weekend I think I would find more queues. And the problem is, and I've moaned about this before, but each one of these is 350 kilowatts. And most cars can't charge anywhere close to 350 kilowatts. If, you know, the maximum here is 100. The Nero is there doing 77. So that's a lot of spare capacity. So I think 175 kilowatts or something would probably be the sweet spot. Or Kempower chargers, which are really good. They share the available power across more chargers. So you could have this whole section of the car park full. So that would be much better. Okay, this next bit is quite a long stretch because of the traffic. It all goes a bit slow through Mont Blanc. So I've done my emergency P, and we've got 89% battery. I can't remember what it said charge to. I think it was 94, wasn't it? So I've been here 34 minutes. So I'm just going to check my tweets and then tell you what, if you want to take up time when you're stopping to charge, then being on Twitter is a great excuse because it takes up so much time, you know. And I'm just doing Twitter. I'm not even doing like Mastodon or Threads. I'm on them both, but I don't really use them very much. I don't use Threads at all because I don't think Zuckerberg's any better than Musk. It's got to be said. And I don't use Instagram, even though my wife keeps saying I should use Instagram. Anyway, I hate social media. Twitter's enough for me. So the next stop, this hotel, 3T Hotel, apparently they have chargers. I think it's 2 Porsche chargers. But I don't know any details. They might be occupied for all I know. So I don't want to get there with too low a battery. But I think there are a couple of other options in the town if I need them. But so yeah, I'm not gonna try and get there with like 10% or anything like that, just to give myself a little bit of a buffer, just in case I need to. But I mean, this is fine. If I get there with like 18% or whatever the Better Route Planner just said, then that'll be fine. Alrighty. So let's go with 92%. A Better Route Planner says I'll get there with 22% battery, probably because the traffic is so bad. I'm going to get there at 17:53 apparently. So 2 hours, 40 minutes. The start button is not working. I don't know why Better Route Planner is so glitchy sometimes. We'll just do it with Apple Maps.
Proceed to the route.
I find it really annoying that Apple Maps is in miles. You'd think it would change automatically. Or you'd think it would be easy to change it on the interface, but I can't work out the way. Maybe if I ask Siri, change the units from miles to kilometers.
Here's an answer from asknumbers.com. 1 mile, me, is equal to 1.609344 kilometer, km. To convert miles to km, multiply the mile value by 1.609344.
Shut up! Google would be able to, I bet Google would be able to do that. I bet if I was in my Megane and I was asking that, I bet it would do it. Tesla probably does it as well. Is it Apple? Apple. I mean, I love Apple. But really, Siri is just dreadful. Anyway, rant over. I've got 242 kilometres of range and it's 94 miles to get there, so I don't know, I think that's more than enough. What's 94 miles? 150 kilometres, I guess? Well, I'll ask you that. What's 94 miles in kilometres?
94 miles is 151.28 kilometres.
Look at that. That was pretty good there, I think. I should do the lottery tonight. Oh, I can see Mont Blanc. I do wonder for this reason I should have gone down that way, kind of down the centre of Italy instead of through Mont Blanc. But obviously you've got to make that decision quite soon, really, when you're in France. I'm listening to Mont Blanc radio. There's no information on that. I don't know what I'm supposed to listen to. So sod that, I'm going to put on Fleetwood Mac again. 6 miles just to get to the start of the Mont Blanc tunnel. 6 miles of queues. That's a lie. I think I'm going to be here all night, I think. Still stuck in the queue, 16:53. I'm almost there at the bit where you've got to pay. Okay, almost there, almost there. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to see what kind of fluster I managed to get in and whether I hit my head, hit my leg, hit my knee, fall over, drop the payment card on the floor, curb the alloy. Any number of different things could go wrong right now. Okay. Park, handbrake. Single. Grazie. Hopefully there's no traffic on the other side. And we have emerged. Welcome to Italy. We're here with 92 kilometres of range and 32% battery. And what time is it? 6:45. So I was really hoping to get here like an hour ago, really. But it's fine, I'm here, it's good. It's a stunning hotel, this, actually. And it does have a sort of a restaurant as well, so that's good. Because I'm lazy, but I should explore, really. I might go out and explore a little bit. Right, now I'm overdressed. Okay, well here's the Porsche destination charging thing. And, interestingly, it's tethered, so I don't need my cable. This hotel's very fancy. There we go. Wow. You know it's classy because they give you slippers. I know nothing about Ivrea, so I'm sorry, I should have done my research really. But there's a castle thing up there. I'm just going for a quick walk really, just before dinner. I've got dinner at 8, which is in 40 minutes I think. So apparently this is Castello di Ivrea. I probably could have guessed that, couldn't I? Okay, let's go this way. So I've walked up to see the castle, which is just there. First bit of exercise I've done in months. I'm a bit out of breath. I used to go for a morning walk every morning. Really need to do that again. Anyway, beautiful view up here. I keep saying mention of Olivetti. Olivetti is a company that I think are famous for making typewriters. Wow, look at all these old posters. That's so cool. So I wonder whether it's from this town originally. I keep walking past such nice looking restaurants. And I'm eating at the hotel. It's a bit soulless, isn't it? Call me a sad bastard, but the problem is I don't really like eating anywhere without Flaviano and Aurelia. What a soppy git. I'm back in the hotel room after dinner. The food was fine. So I had the raw tuna And good luck if you're a vegan, by the way, because I think bread is probably the only thing you can eat. And then I had a sea bass with a kind of a mashed potato kind of thing, and it came really quickly. But it was all fine. It was, you know, nice enough, but you know, wasn't as good as just a decent bowl of pasta that you get at a trattoria. But then I told my wife that, and she said I'd look like a weirdo if I just went to a trattoria on my own. So you know, that's why I stayed at the hotel. I probably spent an absolute fortune as well because it wasn't cheap. But overall, this place is really nice. Good morning. It's a beautiful, it's quite fresh morning actually. Now we're going to go to our first charge stop. Have I gone the wrong way already? I have. So it was a lovely hotel, but I do think it was a bit cheeky that they charged €25 when it was so slow. The charge was so slow. It was only
Exit the roundabout.
2 or 3 kilowatt charger. I'm not sure what the speed limit is here, but I have an Italian up my arse, so I'm probably not going fast enough. So Italians do this, I mean Brits do this a lot as well, but Italians seem to do it even more. They kind of treat the inside lane as just for slow traffic, and then they just hog the middle lane instead of going back and forth all the time, which is surely what you should do. It takes so long to get around Genova, and you know, the roads are quite twisty, and there's loads of roadworks, and lots of really ugly tunnels. It's quite an unpleasant route, this bit.
Keep slight right at the fork to Autostrada dei Giavi.
And it's quite busy. It gets better after this, but there's a lot of twisty, rubbish roads around, and people driving up your arse. Although you can't really get away from that anywhere in Italy. And over a terrifying bridge. It's terrifying. We stayed in Genova once. Or Jennifer, as Siri thinks it is. We stayed in Genova, and it was quite nice, the bit that we saw, but it is very busy. Driving around is pretty unpleasant. Lots of beeping, people weaving in and out of traffic. Again, kind of an Italian thing, isn't it? Okay, so we're about to get to the first charging stop in Italy. Let's hope I don't miss the exit. Right, so where do we think it might be?
The destination is on the right.
These are Alpitronic hyperchargers, and Alpitronic chargers are always really good in my experience, and I like them anyway because they're an Italian company from Bolzano. Bolzano is one of my favourite places. In fact, we're pretty much going to Bolzano in a few days. So anyway, that's enough history of the Alpitronic company. We've got here with 27% battery, a bit better than expected, but there were a lot of roadworks, and I was the only one doing the speed limit. Doesn't look very on, does it? Okay, I'm going to have to go there then. There's me talking about how great these chargers are, and of course that one wasn't working. Okay, first of all we have to do the Shell card. That one there. So it's nice and warm, so we should get a good speed of the charging, I think. It's pretty good, look, 95.8, 96. I'm alright with that. So apparently we need to charge to 61%. It won't take too long, like 12 minutes or something, I think that's what it said. So I'll pop in and use the toilet, then I'll come back out, and it's probably going to be ready by then. And then after this we'll be going to an IONITY charger on the motorway. I think it's Versilia Est. I think it's the one where I had a little argument with some Audi driver for cutting in front of me in the queue. So hopefully the same doesn't happen this time. Okay, so I've actually charged a little bit more than I needed to. I've got 65% instead of 61, so I'll unplug and then go. Alrighty, so 66% battery, 186 kilometers of range. No, going too fast. BMW. The speed limit was 80 there. They were not doing 80. It's 80 for a reason, to allow people to get out of the service area. Anyway, so 1 hour and 4 minutes to get down to the next charger, which is IONITY. At the moment 2 are occupied, but who cares? And I should get there with 16% battery, and I'll be charging there for 25 minutes. It's not really enough time to do much, is it? But I will try and get a sandwich because I'm going to be very hungry. That's someone actually doing the speed limit, and of course they are, because they're French. That's why. So they're actually doing the 60 kilometers an hour because of the roadworks. All the Italians would get so pissed off behind them. But I'm just thinking, good on you, French. Good on you. So I'm going to get there with a relatively high state of charge, actually, because I've got 32% battery, and it's 86 kilometers of range, and it's only 9 kilometers to get there. So ideally I would want to find another one further along, and I probably could, but it's this difficult thing that I kind of feel like I should probably just stop and just top up and eat as well, because I'm really hungry. And I could use a better route planner to try and find alternative chargers, but the problem is, because Tronity now is kind of disconnected, so it doesn't know what actual state of charge I've got, then it probably won't be very accurate at trying to find alternative chargers, because it'll assume I've only got 14% battery, and it's going to take me somewhere awful, probably, isn't it? So I'm just going to stop here. So 80 kilometers range, 29% battery. Alright, so we'll do the usual boring bit of just seeing how fast it goes. Quite a high state of charge, so even if we get 90 something, it might not stay for very long. It's a beautiful view. Well, I mean, apart from the cars, but you know, stunning, isn't it? So we're going to charge up to 75% battery. Okay, I've got a sandwich. I said Capri, it's actually Capri. It's quite intimidating if you've never been to Italy before, the whole ordering food thing, because you have to first decide what you want, and then you have to kind of go to another counter and pay for what you want. So you tell them what you want, and then you pay, and then you get a ticket, and then you take it back to the counter where everything was, and then you tell them what you've just paid for. So it's a little odd, but it's just the way, it's kind of the way bars work. So I've just paid for the sandwich and a coffee, but I've kept the ticket, the receipt, I've kept that to get the coffee later. So you just get used to it. Ooh, that's not good, is it? Must be an error. There are 2 available, so I'll go there. God, these things are so... I just can't do it one-handed. Not that I have to film every time I'm plugging in. I could probably just wasting time, aren't I? Well, I've had pretty good luck on this trip so far. A bit weird that happened, but anyway, fine. At least it's not busy. If it was busy here, then I would be a bit more stressed. The lunchtime rush will be in about half an hour, probably. I guess I'll sit inside and eat my sandwich. Now, really, I would have expected Tronity to have told me that there was an issue. A bit weird that it didn't, but it could just be because I didn't have much internet. But I think Tronity is supposed to give you a message if that happens. Or at least it would have said charging stopped anyway. I don't know if it would have said charging stopped because of an error, but it would have said charging stopped, and I would have looked and I would have what. So that's what a Capri looks like. Bit of mozzarella, a bit of tomato, a bit of ham, a bit of burnt lettuce. Bloody hell, charging finished. Why? Let's get it English. Just want to double check what that means. Charging failed. So odd. Okay, so let's give it another go. So it's charging again, we'll see how long this lasts. I've got enough charge just to get going, so I could just, if it fails again, I'll just go. I did just get a notification from Tronity saying charge ended at 62%, so that's good. If I was inside then, if I had the internet, then I would have had a notification at least to come back in. So that's good. I'm going to get my coffee now. Although in this heat, I don't know if coffee is really what I want, to be honest. Still charging. Weird, isn't it? So 3rd time lucky. Let's stop. and we'll get going. God, I've been walking around with espresso on my nose. 96% battery. It's an absolutely dreadful bit of road, this. It hasn't got any better since I last drove on it. Teeth fall out. So this road I'm on now is called the SS1, also called Via Aurelia. So we didn't name our daughter after this road, just Aurelia's an ancient Roman name. And it goes all the way down the left coast of Italy. It's a terrible road actually. I mean it's so bumpy. How bloody hell this road. It's pretty crap. But the view is quite nice. You've got the coast on that side. Mountains on that side, and you can hear the cicadas singing. So it's the final stretch for me.
Turn right, then you have arrived.
Question is, where are the chargers?
You have arrived.
Alright, so we're here with 24% battery and we've got a charge to 66% apparently. And these are Alpitronic chargers, so that's good. It's quite warm. You can't see much because that screen needs a bloody good wash. So 24% is pretty low, and yeah, we should get full speed, I would have thought. Certainly warm enough. So that's interesting. Look over there. We've got Porsche charging reserved. I've never seen that before. That's probably the maximum we're going to get. Okay, so here until 66%, so not a very long wait really. Okay, I've been faffing around with Twitter and I'm charged up to 70% instead of 66, which I think is what I needed. So I'm going to go out into the 40-degree heat and shut the charger. Shut the charger off? That doesn't sound good, does it? Turn the charger off. No. Stop the charge. Stop. Another hour and a half of driving and I should get to the charger at 16:55. Okay, so we're at the last charging stop. 22% battery, 56 kilometers. So really this one is just like a top up really, just to make sure that when we get to the apartment we have enough to go around a little bit. The big question is the charge cable going to reach, or do I have to go in the other way? We'll see. Not the most elegant, is it? I probably I should have gone in the other way, but it's fine, it's in. So I'll be charging until 57%, so that's 13 minutes. So it looks like if all of those over there are occupied, then there is that. Probably a 50 kilowatt there if you need it. So we have to get to 57%, let's see what we've got. 57%, so we can go. Oh, 59% actually. Yeah. And that's only because I was fishing around trying to find this card in my pocket. 59% battery, 158 kilometers of range, and let's go to the beach for a cocktail. So I'm here at the beach, and now I think it's time for a cocktail. The best car you can park next to is a Citroen Cactus.
Wanna drive the smelly Jeep?
Not really.
Ciao!
I've now arrived at the apartment. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please press the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of other videos, including part 2 of course, and let's see if anything exciting happens in part 2. If something exciting does happen, this is the point where I'll splice it in. I'll splice in some footage of an argument with me and Flaviana, or Aurelia getting angry with me, or let's just hope it's not something wrong with the car. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Or charging issues, whatever. Anyway, if something happens in part 2, then I'll put it here. If not, then it's going to be pretty boring, I'm afraid. It'll just be an easy trip from Italy to England and not many disasters. In fact, there haven't been many disasters this time, have there really? It's been pretty easy, and the car's done really well. So anyway, thank you, and bye for now.